I was told to pack my bags and get the fuck out of here, even though this parking lot does not belong to these people. This whole parking lot right here, next to Home Depot, it doesn't belong to these people that are living here. We're all squatters, myself included. It belongs to East Bay Mud, M-U-D, yeah, the water company. East Bay Mud actually owns this specific land tract that I'm standing at. They also own that trail back there. Home Depot owns nothing over here. Home Depot doesn't even own the land that they're on. Home Depot owns nothing. It's owned by 24 Hour Fitness, the land. And then that McDonald's over there owns that part of it. So all the squatters that are here shouldn't have a right to tell other squatters what to do, or other people what to do as far as living management, in my opinion. So if I'm dying of hypothermia, I should be allowed to start a fire to stay warm when I don't have any recourse to things like warm clothes, when I don't have blankets, right? When I don't have things like, you know, in the middle of the night, it's like really cold and it's raining, about to rain, and my shit's wet. What do? I don't even have food half the time. And then on top of that, my other things like my basic recourses are stolen from me every time I get them. Like for instance, somebody systematically goes through and makes sure that I have absolutely no ID. They take my ID. They make sure that I don't have any bank cards at all. Then they make sure that I don't have any communication at all, so they steal my phone. Then they make sure that I don't even have something as personal as the ability to write a journal. So that's why I'm making these video logs called Fruitvale Daily Log, so that I upload them to YouTube and so that anybody can fucking watch it. I don't care. I have no privacy. Because when they steal even my journals, right? So I have no privacy anywhere. I can't even change my clothes without having to justify why am I changing my clothes, where did I get those clothes. I have to be strip searched before I leave, in and out pretty much, anywhere, you know. Usually the sheriff's department did that to us in 9 building, where like when you go to court, they don't do anything, but when you come back from courts, they strip search you. That's right. They do a cavity search and everything. Make sure you don't bring back anything dangerous or whatever. But at least they do it once and leave you alone. You don't have to do it hourly or daily. You know, I don't have to be subject to here. Same thing here versus over at East 12th and 16th Avenue, 26th Avenue. Every day over there, I was subject to the same thing over here. Seems like people will just come up to you and they will be like, "That's my property, not yours." And then what they do is they get 6 or 7 of their buddies to come along. And if you argue, they're gonna fucking beat you up or kill you over simple shit. Like, I was at this parking lot exit down there a couple of days ago, or a week ago, and I was leaving and doing something with my wires, and all of a sudden, this person, they go, "Well, this is not your stuff, blah, 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 and this whole thing belongs to blah, 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 blah." And I'm like, that blah 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 person doesn't own this place, and this is my stuff. So I had no choice but to try to grab it. And then all of a sudden 2 or 3 of the friends show up, right, of this person, and they start grabbing things off my cart, and I had no choice but to let them take it, because what am I going to do? I'm a non-violent person, right? And so back to my systematically robbing me part, right? Most of these robberies occur when I am not looking, or not sleep, or when I'm sleeping, or not aware of it. Because what happens is, almost none of these robberies occur face to face. Like, my phone was stolen face to face, right? Pretty much just my phone was stolen face to face, violently. But yeah, other than that, but my Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra 5G, yes, that was taken, from me, and I don't know where it is right now. But the thing is, when I asked for it back, I got maced in the face with like this acid version, where essentially somebody's throwing acid in your face. And when I have acid in my face and lungs, I can't breathe. And I've never had that happen to me before, so I tend to panic, right? Anybody would, I think. If you have never experienced acid being thrown in your face, you would panic. So I was screaming help me, somebody help me. I can't breathe. I can't see. Over and over again because that was the truth. And it started somewhere down there, like down that corner, and I had to crawl this entire parking lot right here. This whole parking lot, I had to crawl that way all the way down to the street, and then I had to crawl through the street. I was crawling literally on my hands and knees. I was crawling, screaming, help, somebody call 911, somebody call the doctor. Nobody helped me in this entire parking lot. There were at least 20 people here watching and laughing. And then I walked that way to the right to McDonald's. And I'm literally on my hands and feet, crawling on my hands and feet, seeking help. Nobody would help me. I was panicked. I couldn't breathe. Every 2 seconds my lungs shut down. And I couldn't see for the world of me. And it was like burning acid in my eyes, right? So I get down to McDonald's at that corner, right where drive-thru is, and somebody runs over my foot. Later on, I find out that the person knew who threw the acid in my face, and I think they were aiming for my legs instead of my feet, but yeah. So my foot got broken, right? While I'm screaming and shouting, finally Brinks calls 911. Not me, but Brinks calls. How could I call 911 when I didn't even have a phone? Because they had stolen my phone, right? So shit like that gets, to be very comprehensive in its nature, if you may. So this kind of violent people, the violence occurs. But why does it occur to me specifically? I don't see that happening to these other people around here, right? I don't know what the delta is or delineation is or the differences between me and them, right? So back to summary version, I guess. My ID was stolen day one, let's just say. Day 2 or 3, my cell phone is stolen. Day 4 or 5, I find out that somebody has walked into a bank in Citibank in International Boulevard somewhere and withdrew money from my account using my ID, which was stolen from me. Which was really weird, right? Maybe they should have looked at who that person's phone calls went to and received from, text messages and stuff on that phone that they had. Anyways, so the thing is, the next part is okay, so they've stolen my phone, they've stolen my fucking ID, they've stolen my debit cards, all for trying to see how much money I have, because they all assume that I'm a millionaire, which I'm not. I am begging for food and I'm homeless, but yet they have to keep scrounging around me, licking me like a little, the difference between, leeches and these people is that leeches will stop sucking your blood once you're dead. It's that bad. And the thing is, because I've done nothing wrong to provoke this, first of all, I didn't go out and rape nobody here. I didn't kill nobody here. I didn't destroy these people's homes. I didn't rob them of anything. They robbed me, they robbed others, and they had the audacity to say that then they blame me for it to other people by lying to them. And these other people then commit acts of violence on me without even verifying anything, because they're that stupid people. Okay, so those are the things that are happening to me. Now, on top of that, they know that I need certain things. For instance, I need meth. I need food, right? So I can only get food at McDonald's pretty much, or around here once in a while they come drop off food. So I'm stuck here because of not just the food, but because of the meth, and then because of my fucking inability to find land anywhere else, right? I had a place built on 26th and East 12th. I built that out of my own hands. I dragged panel after panel after panel from Home Depot's trash all the way down to the East 12th and 26th near McDonald's, and built my house there, so to say. It took me 8 months of doing it every day. Then it was swiftly stolen from me. When I made it comfortable enough to where it had electricity, I had 4 walls, I had a toilet. These motherfuckers didn't even have a toilet before I got there. And I introduced them to the toilet, the indoor plumbing, wiping your own ass, and then they get all fancy on me, like I'm a dirty person. and ingrateful little nuts. But anyway, so the thing is, I had civil amenities which you would get in a normal house, right? In a normal apartment that people are used to, that they take guaranteed. But I had to build it all with my bare hands, only to have it stolen from me, and there's nothing I can do about it. Gang violence, right? Stolen from me so that they could deal drugs out of this place. So that they could fucking, not only deal drugs, they turned it into a gambling shack and a whorehouse. Like, that place is a fucking, inside that place right now is drugs being sold and manufactured probably, and it's a fucking prostitution place. And on top of that, it's guaranteed there's like arms inside of that place, right? So if you go in that place, be careful, right? It's that fenced in area that looks like a homeless encampment now. I was the only person that lived there before. I had it as a fucking homeless shelter, like for women, and like an emergency shelter for women. Like, so many women came and lived there nightly or daily because they were raped somewhere. They fucking had a bad night. They came and stayed with me. I did nothing to them, you know. I provided them just a place to stay. That's what that place was for, you know. But anyways, so same thing is happening here now. I come here because I had no other place to go. I live near the water here, nothing. Come over here, nothing, right? Everywhere I go, I set up a tent. A tent is too much for them. They steal my tent too. But when I start getting comfortable, no, they call it getting comfortable, but what do you call comfortable here? I built something, nothing other than just try to put shelter around my tent, right? My tent has tarp around it and these objects around it so to prevent people from stealing my shit, like my blankets and stuff like that. There's nothing in there other than my blankets. Yet this is too grand of a design for these people who live out of these cars. They're too lazy to fucking sit there. They're too lazy to get up and do their work to make something like this, right? So as a result, now I get asked to leave so that they can take my work again. I don't know who's doing it, but like, the worst part is they wait until I'm sleeping. Like, they wait until I'm sleeping because I'm having a seizure when I'm sleeping every night now. Because I'm dying, they don't believe me that I'm dying. I don't give a fuck if you don't believe me if I'm dying. There's more than one reason to die from. Because you're too uneducated and you're too retarded doesn't make it any different. People die from brain tumors all over the place. People die from cancer. People die from many different things. I'm dying from cysts in my head. I have cysts in my head, 302 cysts. Like, fucking fat fucking knots in my head for me. And it gets worse and worse and worse. My symptoms progress to where every time I sit down, I can faint. Now it's, for the last 8 months, I've had a seizure every night. I have a seizure when I go to sleep. The moment I shut down and I go to REM sleep, which is called like deep sleep or whatever, the moment I go into REM sleep, my brain automatically goes into a seizure mode. Like, it shuts down, the whole brain shuts down. And then it's like almost dead. There's a 50-50 chance of you awakening from a seizure. Did you know that? 50-50 chance. So if you have a seizure, you could die from it. That's why it's serious business. And these people will not stop leaving me alone for some reason. They just think it's a fucking hilarious fucking thing to pick on somebody who's mentally handicapped. They've tortured me to death almost right now. See this? This is my... I had a fucking house in San Leandro stolen from me by David Wayne Martin and his little prick fucks. You know, I have a house, I had a car, I had a Mercedes Benz, E2, whatever. I had an Infiniti M35, paid off, right? My Benz, I panhandled 3 years, that's right. I panhandled for 3 years and I saved my money from panhandling. I didn't squander my money from panhandling. Like, these motherfuckers are so jealous of me having a power cable. Their utter, like, vaginas and penises hurt that I have a power cable and I have electricity somehow. I motherfucking panhandled for fucking a week and a half to get the money to get a fucking cable, to save up for it. And now they're just gonna try to steal it from me by intimidating me out of here, by doing tactics like that. You know, everybody should read the Bible. In the motherfucking Bible, there's a chapter called Romans 1:2, right? For thou that commit the same sins have no fucking room to speak onto others to commit sin, right? If you you abhor idols, but yet you rob temples. You claim to be the leader of the blind, but you yourself are robbing and pillaging everything in sight. You made people lose their faith, right? We are without the law, but we are a law unto ourselves, right? Because in our own hearts we have the law written to ourselves. Because we all obey some sort of law, criminal law or whether it's a human law. But he who perishes without the law will also perish with the law, right? Meaning the law of God. Thanks for listening. And yes, I am being tortured, literally being tortured, and I need help. Somebody's torturing me by sending this army of these people, it seems like, to me, and I hope somebody looks into it and figures out who's doing it to me and why they're doing it to me. Because they're probably psychotic or they're being paid, one of the two. And they have enough resources to send all of these people to me, to terrorize me and torture me, just to see me jump from point A to point B, just to have me go through all of my shit over and over and over again. They send these people over and they'll terrorize me into having me, freak me out into like going through my clothes, going through all my inventory, just to see what all I have. That's fucked up. That's torture. I can't even have food stamps, by the way. The moment I get a food stamps card, it gets stolen that very day. Not just stolen, robbed at gunpoint in Uppal. Anytime I get a bank debit card, they think that it's their money. Instead of my money, it's their money. Even though they might have stolen that money from somebody else, or the card might have stolen from somebody else, and I have nothing to do with that fucking bank or card. Yet, anytime I get anything, it's like, oh, it's mine. How did you get it? I have to justify my existence to these people. My social security for $1,100 is still robbed by somebody over here. They haven't paid me back my social security money. Yeah, somebody could help me, that'd be great.